the ultimate SHTF rifle for preppers. Hey everybody, I'm Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness, and today I want to talk about exactly that topic. There's a lot of discussion out there about which one is right for what. Let me tell you, right off the bat, there is no perfect or best across the board for everyone. You may live in Kansas, where you can engage out for 1,000+ yards. You may live in Western Washington like I do, where the majority of engagements is going to be within and around 300 yards or closer, maybe sometimes a little bit further out, but not thousands of yards, typically speaking. So there is no best weapon system. Let's get that off the table right off the bat. But what I want to show you is a very good option for the majority of people in the United States. I feel, and this is my opinion, this setup works for me. I train with it, I use it, I'm very good with it, which is key. That is way more important than the system itself, is that you are effective, highly trained, and very good at employing the weapon system properly. That is worth way more than some fancy setup. And this setup has budgetary constraints. If I had unlimited money, the setup may be different, but I don't. So I will get into showing you the setup. Start off with AR platform. Mission First Tactical Minimalist stock at 4 ounces. It's a great option. Not too expensive, and it's lightweight. This whole weapon system is very lightweight. That's another reason why I like it. Moving on from there, I got a RATS tourniquet on here because I carry CAT and SOFT tourniquets on my system in other locations. So this one is here. It's nice to have a variety of different styles of tourniquets just in case. Ambidextrous charging handle. This is a Bravo company. Moving forward from that, we got the Magpul BAD lever right here. Show it on the other side of the rifle, right here. What does that allow me to do? That allows me to do, after changing my seat holder, instead of bringing my hand up here and going like this, and then bringing it forward, I insert, bring my hand forward, my finger that's already here pushes down the lever, sending the bolt forward. Okay, this rifle also has on it, Bravo company, grip. I like the grip angle. So that when I'm patrolling around like this, see my wrist is in a fairly neutral location. It's not all like this, like it would be with a standard grip. So I really like that. It's much more comfortable, much more useful. And comfort over the long run is worth it. All right, another thing that is noticeable is this vert grip I got, Bravo company. Some people run them like this, canted forward. Some people like canting them backwards. You just flip it around, run it how you want it. Who cares? There's no right or wrong. It's how you like the setup. All right, on here I have some Lewis Machine and Tool extended takedown pins, front and rear. That enables me to swap my bolt out in the field with gloves on, not having to sit here and push it in and try to get with your fingernails. I carry a bolt carrier group in my rig. Not all my rigs, but my primary rigs. So I can detach this, open it up, swap the bolt out while wearing gloves, which is very important to me. I don't want to sit here and make a bunch of extra motion and stuff like that. Okay, so another thing that's nice about this setup is the fail zero bolt carrier group. Nickel boron, very, very nice, very slick, self-lubricating bolt carrier group. Why do I like that? Why do I like the fail zero bolt carrier groups? Well, as preppers, and in the preparedness mindset, meaning like end of the world scenario, some big event, that kind of stuff, I run my gun dry. I don't really lube my gun that much. Because if you are used to and you are running a system that requires lube, you have to swap out your lube for summertime, for wintertime, for the different temperature corrections, and if you're out there long term, you run into a situation where you may run out of lube, and then your weapon system won't function properly. So I prefer to have a nice, fairly expensive bolt carrier group in there that's self-lubricating, so I don't have to worry about that. SHTF, normal training day, whatever. Same, train the way you fight because you're gonna fight the way you train. Very important. Let's go on to optics. This rifle has a primary arms, ACSS reticle, fixed 3-power optic. What do I like about it? It is illuminated, but it's etched. So even if the battery dies, I still have a reticle. And I really like the ACSS reticle. Very, very good reticle. Love the way it functions. And then on top of that, I have a little micro dot. Why do I have these optics the way I have them? I will explain. And why do I have, okay, one thing is, what I advocate normally, depending on your setup, is your flashlight, your tack light, on the opposite side of your face. So that when you bring your weapon up and you're employing your weapon system, if somebody's shooting that light, it may pass by here instead of hitting you in the face. But with this setup, I have it on the left side because of one thing, one primary thing. I don't want it impeding my view down the rail here. Why? Because that view down the rail is my instinctive shooting sighting system, like my optic for instinctual shooting. I bring it up and that's instinctual. That's close in, very, very close in, CQB type stuff. And then if I feel like I need to engage slightly further out targets, I just flip the rifle over and the red dot, the micro dot, is right in my plane of view. And then if I need to engage targets further out, all I can do is lower my head a little bit and bring the primary optic into play. So I got instinctual, very close in, longer range, all in one setup with very minimal motion. That is important. The efficiency of movement and minimizing any redundant movements. You want to minimize your movement, keep things simple, and make sure they work. All right, with this system, the micro dot is battery powered. So yes, it could die, but I still have, my rail's not going anywhere, still have that for instinctual, and I'll still have the fixed 3-power with the etched reticle available to me at all times. Could the glass break? Yes, the glass could break. I mean, a lot of people say that. They're like, well, what if your battery dies and this optic gets busted? You don't have backup irons. Okay, what are the odds of that happening? Really? I mean, it's seriously, really. I've been training with this and doing a lot of things with this for a long time, beating the heck out of it, and I've never had any issues. So run backup irons if you choose to. This system, I choose not to. To each his own though. Not knocking either way. Backup irons, sure. It is a good idea if that's what you choose. All right, tack light. This is just a simple little like $15 Walmart tack light in some scope rings. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be fancy. And then the threaded comp. That's because some people I know have suppressors. And they have the suppressors that work with this style so that if I'm ever out with them and I might be able to have the option of utilizing that. Now, I didn't go through the hassle of NFA or anything like that, so I don't worry about that. I don't do it. I just, why not get the adapter, the proper one, welded and pinned to a 14.5-inch barrel because it's legal and just in case. Why 14.5-inch barrel? It's a 14.5-inch lightweight barrel because weight and the overall length of the weapon system is good for CQB. Is it perfect? Is it as good as a 10-inch pistol? No, it's not, but it's decent. It's pretty decent, it's pretty compact, it's lightweight, and yet my ballistics don't suffer too much from having a slightly shorter barrel. So this is my option. Like I said, may not be everybody's option. I like this system the way it is, but I will reiterate and I will say that training is key. Make sure that you are training with the weapon system that you choose to employ, no matter what it is, and be as good as you possibly can. I don't care if it's a high point carbine or a full-on Noveski, AR. I don't care if it's a bolt gun, a lever gun, whatever you have, you can make work for you. Not saying optimally, but you can make it work for you with proper training. You can be effective with that system. So that is my system, this particular system. And some people may ask also, what is this stuff hanging off? That's just jute. That's just to slightly break up the pattern of the weapon system. Same with the spray paint. Yes, it's spray paint. Very simple to do. I've done videos on it. Check back through the history. You can find the videos. All you want to do is just break up the overall pattern so it doesn't look like this big black stick that I'm carrying. You just want to break it up a little bit. Make sure if you're putting this stuff on, this jute, see, this is just netting. It's just netting. If you choose to use that, then make sure that it is in locations where it does not interfere with the functioning of the weapon system. You don't want to put it over here blocking the ejection port or your mag well or your trigger assembly, anything like that. Make sure you do it properly. Make sure you do it intelligently. Other than that, this is a Condor 2-point. I think it's called the Speedy Sling. It's got the adjustment here. I like these slings. They're inexpensive and they work great. I can keep it up nice and tight to my body like that. I can zip it out all the way, and then I can employ my weapon system, do stuff like that. This has a Bravo company heavier weight buffer in it, just because I choose to run that. No matter how you have it set up and what you do, make sure that you're utilizing it, training with it, and whenever you make any changes to the weapon system, like I did not that long ago, I forget exactly how long ago I switched to this optic and this optic. I got out and trained to get myself and my automatic reactions used to utilizing the setup. Thousands and thousands and thousands of repetitions so that it's second nature. Anytime, a lot of people treat this as like the adult Lego set, and they change stuff all the time. Try not to change it too much. And if you do, try to keep the locations of items on it in the same location. And if you do change locations or any changes, make sure you're doing thousands of reps, dry firing, actually firing, real world training, whatever it is. Make sure that you're doing that. This is a very important system that your life may depend on. So you want to make sure it's functioning properly. Oh, this also has a extremely high temp gas tube that will not melt, no matter how hot stuff gets. This system works for me. I feel that it is a decent setup for anybody in a generic SHTF scenario. Like I said though, there are other systems out there that can be pretty effective. The AK platform, 74 maybe, could be approximately as effective as this. The 47, not so much, but if you're going really close in stuff, the 47 would be fine. And then there's a whole other topic of extended capability, meaning the 7.62x51 and a main battle rifle. FALs, PTR 91s, the civilian version of the G3, M1As, there's ones out there. Then there's all the fancy stuff, bullpups and all that. I'm not going to go into all that. There's a lot of good options out there. Pick what you like, which is in your price range, and train, and get used to it, get good with it, because your life may depend on it someday. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.